All right, summation of the June 1st meeting of the Mendham Town Council. The consent agenda was passed without anything being reviewed, so I don't know exactly what was in it. I think 3 items, but whatever. The budget, again, was brought up just because the state hasn't yet approved, so the town can't approve their budget uh, formally until that's done. Clerk had a cold, so she wasn't in too good a shape for this meeting. So, but anyway, that's probably irrelevant, but the tape was a little hard to hear because of that in certain places. But anyway, all right, so there was a couple of resolutions spending money. 76,000 of new borrowing for roads, and I don't remember the name of these streets. Falkland, Glenbrook, um, Hostel, Prospect Street was the only one I remember because I guess the mayor, the ex-mayor, lived on Prospect Street. So I don't know if it needs paving or not. They were complaining people were going too fast down the street, so I would think a bunch of potholes would be helpful. But apparently they don't want them. So now a nice smooth road, and then they'll speed even more, and then they'll complain some more, and then cops will be on the street some more, and it's cost more money. So whatever. I don't know. I didn't look at Prospect Street. I don't know if it needs paving or not. But anyway, relative to some other streets, hint, hint. Anyway, well, another big one was $1,600,000 borrowed for the water infiltration problem for the sewage plant. So apparently that will be paid out of sewage plant fees. So if you're on the town sewage, you're going to be paying for that eventually. So you might be, I don't know. They were trying to collect extra money, I think, when they raised the rates the last time. But I don't know if they have enough to cover all this stuff. But the fact that they're borrowing the money means they must not have enough money. So probably be a fee increase. And I don't know what pipes they're going to fix in which locations. So I just don't know. They don't comment on any of that stuff. So I guess I'll have to go searching to find it. All right. Anyway, another 55,000. I guess 100,000 total. I don't know what the totals were. For cop and fire equipment, they have to get these new radios so they can do all this fancy radio stuff. I always thought this was a little bogus. $4,000 for a radio. Um, really. So, but they can communicate with each other and say, pick me up a hamburger at the 7-Eleven or something. I don't know. It all seems a little bit too G.I. Joe, Batman, utility belt kind of bullshit to me. But whatever. I'm in a crappy mood, so I'm not gonna like anything on this sheet. Uh, they made brief mention of the COA thing, because they're going to be sending in their documentation early, but apparently it's just bullshit documentation. They want to try to just kind of let it slip through and see if they can get away with just completely making crap up. So who knows? So salaries, some talk about how there has to be an end to the auto increase, I guess, on some of these local salaries for some things or positions. And maybe with the police department, I mean, they all get to be sergeants, and so you have 75 generals and 2 lieutenants and no privates. That kind of thing happens. So anyway, pastime field. Oh, there was somebody, apparently a resident, by one of my ex-neighbors on Valley Way. I don't think there's too many people left down there that was there when I was there. So anyway, we're griping about the pastime field needs some work. I guess the fence is bent here and there, a couple of little this and that's out of place. Apparently the pitching mound is the wrong distance from the plate and some other stuff. They also talked that they called it a kiddie park. I didn't realize it was a kiddie park. Next to pastime field across the stream, there's a little, horseshoes and stuff, and they have some kind of weird looking crap and some weird looking swings. So apparently they need some work too, some wood chips and stuff, a little beautification. So I guess that'll get done. I'll have to take a walk down there and see. I never see any kiddies playing, so I don't know. They ought to have like a little box for renting horseshoes or something. Maybe I'll throw some horseshoes. There's no horseshoes there, so you can't throw them. But anyway, apparently there's some kind of parking problem at the West Field because the town parks some of its equipment there, and apparently sometimes they leave it running, or I don't know, some sort of neighbor complaint apparently, and they're really not supposed to park there because of some sort of deal with getting the land from whatever the new fields, and I don't know. So who the hell? I don't know. They didn't explain it all. So apparently there was the closing on the garden, I guess it is, or whatever the hell it is, that piece of property, I think, is supposed to happen really soon, which is fine. Um, I don't know what that means either. Uh, trees. I don't know what this trees is. Tree, yeah. Oh, pear trees, that's right. So they apparently planted some pear trees up at the shopping center. The town is pleased so far that they're getting some work done. Apparently they couldn't pave the outside of the parking lot for some reason or other. I don't know. They have to remove stuff first, or I don't know what the deal was. But apparently it's going to get done eventually, apparently. All right, the business association wants to put some curtains, some wreaths on the corner, you know, of the town on each pole or whatever, each corner, some sort of big wreath saying Merry Mendham or something. I don't know, some kind of Christmas thing, I guess. So there was a discussion of the cell tower crap, you know, going to the whatever the telephone pole link fiber optic thing, and the consultant wants another $17,000 to spell it all out for us. And the town thought that was a little bit too high, and so they're going to try to whittle that down and try to get a little more specific information. And they basically came up with the brilliant idea that, well, maybe we should just call the people who actually install this kind of stuff and see if they want to make a deal. Uh, yeah, maybe they can convince them. Maybe they can come in with the information and they'll do it for free because they want to make the money. Yeah, that might work. So anyway, there was a couple of people public commented. Don't know what. I don't know. I didn't write anything down, so I don't remember. Um, so yeah, they did mention something about how the website's going to get better or something, or they're going to do something, but I don't know if any of that crap will ever happen. I guess somebody was talking about the budget again and borrowing money, and I don't know. The town talks like, yeah, well, we borrow at 3.5%, but we don't pay 3.5%. I don't know. The state subsidizes their borrowing. I don't know either. So it didn't make a whole lot of sense. So yeah, the basic deal with this borrowing is they borrow part of the money for a project because they take other money that was in the bill. You know, it's like old projects that they never spent all the money on. And I always found that. I found that very annoying when you read through the budget because there'll be a bunch of projects that are slated to be done. They never get done. They borrowed the money for that purpose and they just move the money to some other purpose. And they don't have to tell anybody. They just do it. It's just kind of stupid. So I guess that's it. You know, if you're going to spend the money, then you ought to. If you're going to not spend it, then I guess maybe you ought to have a resolution that says we're not going to spend the money. You know, and we're not going to do the stupid thing that we, you know, slated the money for. But whatever. It's your government. I didn't exactly vote for it. I mean, I voted for Bugs Bunny one year, and Donald Duck. I voted for me a few times, you know, but yeah, I usually don't vote for the guys who won, you know, because I don't trust their signs, you know. There's red lettering on signs, and then the blue ones always have a funky looking font, and I don't trust the little funky square fonts. I don't trust that. So that's how much information we get about these guys before they're elected, which is absolutely none. So we have such a sterling democracy. Works so frickin' well. So what other commentary? Oh yeah, I just want to point out again too, your wonderful politicians are doing a wonderful job on the deer problem, as the deers have eaten 90% of my garden. You know, the garden state. We ought to just throw that word in the toilet, because obviously you can't have a garden anymore. So we ought to just call it the deer shit state, or the deer in your headlight state, or the deer in your windshield state, or some other obscenity. I mean, it's really an idiotic problem. We shouldn't have to live with this shit. And they do the politically expedient thing, which is, oh, we'll just give the problem to the hunters, like they're going to solve it. No, they're not going to solve it, because guess what? They're in the farming industry. They want to farm the deer so they can extract their pleasure murdering the deer. That's how it works. They want they want too many deer. Too many deer makes it nice and easy for them to have their fun killing the deer. You idiots. You can't give a problem to the people who are the problem. You know, this amazing, pitiful government. Pitiful. So, way to go, guys. You've 10 years working on the problem, and yep, you kept it just as horrible as it can be. You know, thank you very much, buttholes. There, that's it. That's my commentary, thrown in for free.